Did you know that 90% of painting businesses can't break past 50,000 a month? And most don't even make more than 20,000 a month. And after growing my painting business to 71,000 a month, I created a simple framework that anyone can use so you can start growing your painting business. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you the CCC framework and how to apply it so you can make more money. So to start, let me show you the first step in the CCC framework. So I want you to think of two rivers. The first river, it has slow water. So it's really calm, slow water is driving through it, all right? And then we have the second river where a bunch of water is dropping instantly, and then we have a couple rocks that stabilize the water, making it soft. So in your perspective, which river do you feel is gonna have more water at the end of it if they have the same amount of space to fill? The river that moves slowly and steady, or the one that has a bunch of water dropping fast and quickly and then having a couple rocks that stabilize it at the end of it? Well, the answer might be obvious. The one where a bunch of water is dropping quickly and then we stabilize it as we get it closer to where we have to drop it. So why am I telling you this? It's the same thing with your painting business. Most of the time, having slow water coming in means that you don't have enough leads coming in, and they come here once in a while. Once in a while, a couple leads come here and they come calm, predictably. What instead you want to do is have leads flushing in, bunch of them dropping in, and then you stabilize when you book them in your calendar accordingly. In marketing terms, that's something that you called flow. Having more flow coming in and then stabilizing later on so you have a predictable painting business that you can grow faster. But how do you actually do that? Well, step one, you want to have a platform where you can drop a bunch of leads. So one example would be using Facebook ads. Facebook ads, you can spend $100, $200, even $300 a day. And if you know what you're doing, a bunch of leads are gonna drop in every single day. So that's one example. You can do that with door knocking. Have a bunch of door knockers, they're knocking out doors. If you have a proven sales process on that, you can get 3 to 5 estimates every single day depending on the amount of door knockers. So that's creating a bunch of flow, rapidity, rather than just waiting for 1 or 2 leads to come in the next week or so. It's gonna keep you really below 20,000 a month. If you're lucky, 50,000. But if you wanna get farther than that, you need to have leads pouring in. Step two, once you have a bunch of leads coming in, you wanna stabilize. What do I mean by that? Making sure that those leads are being called, making sure that the estimates are confirmed, so that way you can have them on your calendar. Because you don't want just a bunch of leads so you can let them off the cracks. What you want to do is making sure that those leads, all those leads that are coming in, are being put into work. And step three, do that consistently. If you do it with paid ads, if you do it with door knocking, calling realtors, it doesn't matter, but it's working. Just make sure you do it consistently and you don't stop. You always want to have that flush of leads, as in like you're dropping a lot of flow to make sure that your business is growing every single month. Now let's move on to the second step in the CCC framework so you can grow faster. So imagine for a second that you're drinking coffee, right? Like at a coffee place, and you're just chilling, drinking your coffee, and you notice that a guy is looking at this girl, right? He thinks she's attractive, and you're like, oh, that guy, he's eyeing that girl too much. Okay, I mean, I'll just keep drinking my coffee, right? Who cares what I think, right? You're just minding your own business, and then you see this guy. He slowly walks up to the girl, and he gets on his knees and says, "Can you marry me?" And the girl says, "Who are you?" "No, no, 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 I'm good." What will go in your mind when you saw that? Well, you're probably thinking, well, Carlos, I'll probably tell like that guy is dumb. Why is he asking the girl to marry when there's no connection? Well, the same thing is with every single homeowner that you meet. How do you expect them to pay you $8,000, $10,000 for an interior, exterior project when they don't even know you? There's no connection. So before you even try to sell anything, Make sure that you're building a connection. When you're giving an estimate, build a connection. Don't just make it transactional. Make it deeper than that. It's not just about transactional, because if your homeowners, when they meet you, are just thinking, is this worth the money, then you're already failing. Because when you charge more, you're going to lose to the cheaper painter. So there has to be some sort of connection. So how do you actually do this? Because there's two type of connections, and I want to make sure that you don't make the wrong type of connection. Well, the first step is making sure that you know what type of connection I'm talking about. So there's two. So the first one is the type of connection where you're like talking about the weather, where you're from, who's your family, how long have you lived here, all these type of things. That's not real connection. And that's what most painting businesses that are beginners do. Most homeowners, when you start asking them about their family, how's the weather, oh, your dog is so cute, they don't care. They know what you're doing. They know that you're trying to be nice, so then at the end they can pay you money. Nobody's that dumb. And they might pretend, they might talk to you about it, but they don't care about that. They want just to say, just give me the quote and please leave already. I got things to do. So that's the first type of connection that you don't want to do. The second type of connection, this is the one that I want you to do, is the type of connection that actually makes sure that you know exactly why they want to paint their house. That's the whole reason they called you. They didn't call you to talk about the weather, their family, their kids. They didn't call you for that. They could have called a friend. Instead, you want to talk about why they're looking to paint, what motivated them. Tap into their emotions. And once you understand them at an emotional level, they're not thinking about price anymore. They're thinking about what you can get them. It could be a beautiful home that they always wish for. It could be making sure that the wife is happy. Maybe the wife never got the privilege to paint before and he's finally doing something nice for his wife. Maybe it's for his kids. He's thinking about leaving a legacy for his kids. Maybe he was just tired of the colors. He wants to feel refreshed, like he's actually removing his past and actually starting a bright new person. There's so many reasons someone is looking to do something. If you think that a homeowner is just painting just because they want to paint their home, well, let me tell you that you might be wrong. Because let me ask you this. If you're gonna buy a brand new car, are you really thinking of just buying a car because you just need to get A to B? If that was the case, you buy just the cheapest car you can get. Something that costs like $1,000, $2,000. Gets the job done. So why are people paying $50,000, $25,000, even $10,000 for a car? Because of the status it gives them, the safety it gives them. If they have kids, the space, the security, all these things. People don't just buy things just to buy things. You have to understand there's some type of emotion behind it. And that's the type of connection you want to build, where you understand them emotionally by asking the right questions. So step 2, finding out what drives them. That's the important part. How do you do that? Well, it's really simple. Just make sure that you're listening. That's it. Don't focus on, asking the right questions. Of course, that is important, but the most important part is that you're actually listening. If he's telling you that he doesn't like the way his home is looking, then you can ask, like, apart from like obviously that it looks ugly, like what don't you like about it? But you see what I mean? The question is good. That's gonna untap more emotional distress, like, oh, it's because what if he falls, expensive repairs. You're tapping into more pains, more emotion. That's great. But I didn't come up with the question just to ask a question. I was listening. Okay, he said that he didn't like it. What doesn't he like about it? I might think, because you never know what a homeowner really is thinking until you ask. So make sure that you're asking. Hey, what don't you like about it, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, well, I don't like this and this. I hear you, man. Because what will happen if you don't paint your home and that were to fall off? Oh, no, that'd be horrible. Yeah. So you're listening. You see how that works? So always make sure that you're listening and that you're not just stuck in your head thinking, what should I say next? Oh my goodness, am I doing this right? Don't be so self-centered. Focus on your homeowner, your customers. And step 3, make sure that you're coming from a place of sympathy. What do I mean by this? Having sympathy for someone means that you understand their situation, but you don't believe it. So that might be confusing. But let me explain. If someone is crazy, like imagine someone's a psychopath because maybe they had an abusive childhood and they're doing wrong things, maybe they're hurting other people. You're gonna have some sympathy for the guy. Hey man, I hear you. I know you went through some traumatic shit and that's causing you to hurt people now to, I don't know, feel fulfilled or full or revenge, whatever it may be. But that's not right. Like, you're not gonna believe him, like, oh yeah, you should go kill more people, you should harm more people. Because then you're not really having sympathy. Because sympathy means understanding, hearing the person, I get what you're coming from, yet let me offer you a new perspective, because if I don't, I'm gonna harm you. The same way is with homeowners. You wanna listen to them. Okay, I get that money might be tight, I get it, but you have to pay, man, because if you don't, expensive repairs are gonna happen, or maybe things are gonna get more expensive. Inflation is gonna go up. There's so many things that you wanna have sympathy for the homeowner, and you know that them not painting is not the right path. If you truly believe it. If you don't believe it, there's no way you're gonna convince somebody about it. You have to believe it. And so make sure that you listen, you have sympathy. What are some ways that we can get the funding? Because we need to paint your home. Because if not, then you're gonna have more expensive repairs to fix, and it was my fault for not helping you make the right decision. Do you see how that works? Have sympathy, but don't buy into what they're saying. Make sure that you still help them make the right decision. Now, the last step in the CCC framework is this. So pay attention. Has it ever happened to you that you wanted to buy something because you knew it was going to help you, yet you didn't buy it? What actually hold you back knowing that buying that thing was going to have you a better life, more successful, better health, whatever it may be? What prevented you from doing that? Well, you're probably thinking there's many excuses, because at the end of the day, there are excuses. You're not buying that membership going to go to the gym. It's an excuse. You don't have time. That means your health is not a priority. You're not investing in marketing to make sure that you're growing the business. That's losing you on thousands of dollars you could be making. You're not having the right skills. Not investing in your skills is keeping you in the bottom, not where you should be. So the reason I'm telling you this is because there's so many excuses you gave yourself in that moment that prevented you from getting the thing that you knew you should have gotten. And whose fault was it? You might be surprised, but it was the salesperson. Why? Because they didn't give you a reason enough. They didn't challenge you enough to make the right decision you know you needed to make. So the same thing is with homeowners. If you don't help them realize themselves that they need to paint their home, then you're already failing. You're not doing your job as the painting business owner that you are. That's your job. It's nobody else's job. And if you're not willing to take on that job, then you just have a high paying job. That's about it. Because you won't have predictability. You're just gonna get jobs whenever a homeowner feels like and they own their decision, rather than you helping them own their decisions. But how do you actually do that? Well, step one, you want to build pain. Analyze and ask the right questions to see why they decided to paint to begin with. That's the first step. Making sure that you create enough pain that the homeowner realizes their situation and why they decided to even do anything to begin with. So making sure, like, hey, what was it about your home that you felt like, it was time to possibly make a change here? Oh, it's because I don't like the colors. What's wrong with the colors? Oh, it's because I don't like this color, this and this. You're building pain. Make sure that you're building up pain. And it's not to harm them. It's not manipulation. It's just making them realize the real situation. Step two, you want to offer a solution. So what do I mean by that? You always want to ask questions that make sure that the homeowner is telling you exactly what they want. So let's say that we came in and that we painted your home. What do you feel like, obviously, apart from like obviously looking nice, what would you feel like needs to happen in order for you to feel happy with the painting project at the end though? Oh, if you can make sure the lines are crispy, straight, make sure that there's no mess. Now they're telling you the solution. They're imagining how their home is gonna look afterwards. And just by you helping them do that, because they're not gonna do that themselves, they start to realize, hey, I actually want my home to be painted. This is something I want. Nobody obligated me to call this guy and give me a quote. You see how that works? And step 3, always ask what I call consequence questions. So those are these type of questions. And I really like the conversation that we're having, but what happens if you don't do anything though? What will happen then? Oh, no, 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 I have to do something. Why now though? Why not just keep delaying it, just like, those homeowners who get expensive repairs later? Why not just do that? Oh, no, no, because if I do that, I won't have money, and I do have it now. I budgeted for this, and so if I have expensive repairs, I don't know what I'll do. Do you see how that works? Now, without you telling them, they tell themselves that, and now they have a bigger reason why they should take the step forward. And you might be thinking, oh, but wouldn't that be like manipulation? No. Can I offer a new perspective? You're just helping the homeowner realize what their situation is that causes pain, where they want to be, and the consequences. You steer it away. What happens if you don't do anything? And they're the ones giving you the answers. You're not letting them, hey, after I ask this question, you make sure you tell me this. They're telling you that. It's just that they never ask themselves these questions. And now you, as an advisor, coming in and asking these right questions is the same way that someone that needs therapy asks the questions that makes the psychopath realize, I am wrong. I need to make a change. Rather than the therapist guy just telling him, hey man, you need to change. Yep, you should just change. How effective is that? Be realistic. It's not that effective. There has to be questions asked so they come to their own realization that it's time to make a change. You see how that works? There's one more thing that I forgot to mention, that if you miss, you're not going to have any leads. Therefore, you're not going to grow your business. So watch this video next. It's going to be someone right here where I break down in 8 minutes how to run paid ads yourselves, showing you proven ads that we use for our painting business so you can literally replicate them and start getting a bunch of leads. So watch that right there. It's going to help you grow your painting business. My name is Carlos. Take care. Bye-bye.